Welcome, my friends, to August 23rd, 2023. This is episode number, I don't even remember because we're so many we've done. Today we're going to talk about some of the old things in Photoshop that people forget about that help your workflow really fast, and then some of the new things. And then next week we'll talk about something even gooder that's coming up. Probably not sure if they'll release it this October or if they're going to wait a little bit to release it. It's the, well, we'll talk about it next week. It's top secret. So it's in their beta version of Photoshop right now. Okay, let's go ahead and kick it up a notch. I'm going to share screen. A couple of things really quick. Can everybody see my screen right now?
Yep.
Okay, good. Glad somebody answered. Otherwise, I thought we got disconnected. I only put this up. I'm not begging for money, but people ask me to put it up occasionally because they want to pay me money to help fund me to continue doing this for free. That's my Venmo account. If you want to screenshot it and scan the code, you can send me money. If you don't want to do it, I don't care. This is absolutely free to everybody. So close that out. This is probably even more important. This is West Coast School 2023. And for those of you that have been, I know you're going to be there because West Coast School is an addiction. If you haven't been, you need to go. It is summer camp for photographers. This year's instructors coming up, we have Sandra Pierce, Shannon Squires, who's brand new to our school. She taught Texas school last year. Tim Meyer, who's in his 24th year, somewhere around there, teaching at West Coast School. Joe Glida. Tim Meyer will be doing, have we decided what he's doing yet, Mel?
Yep. Hang on a second. I can tell you exactly what it says. It is called Crazy Creative Studio Lighting.
Crazy Creative.
He's going to show about 4 to 6 different kinds of lighting.
Okay.
So he's not doing his normal basic lighting or intermediate lighting class this time.
Cool. And Shannon is doing children's.
Shannon is doing children's fine art photography, start to finish.
And if you've ever seen her stuff, it is magical. She rocks. And she's the sweetest girl in the world. Sandra Pierce is going to be doing painting with Photoshop again, I'm sure.
Yep.
That's what she does best. Joe Glida will be doing commercial photography.
Correct.
Woody Walters and Chris Woolley.
They are creating art and composites in Photoshop.
And then you got Doug and Laura Bennett doing landscape photography. And if you've ever seen their work, it's drop dead, gorgeous, amazing. Michael Collins will be teaching Photoshop 0 to 60 in a week. So if you want to take a full week of learning everything about Photoshop from the get-go all the way up to intermediate to some advanced, that would be a great class to take. I know the instructor very well, and both of his personalities will come out in the class. And last but not least, you got Tony Corbell.
And he'll be doing between light and shadow.
Between light and shadow. That's what he did last year, wasn't it?
I believe it is.
And Tony is a fun instructor. I've had his class. I've done Tim Meyer's class 5 or 6 times. Sandra Pierce's class I've done Woody Walters' class. So definitely a lot of fun. So anyway, so let's dig into some of the cool stuff we're going to do. This is something that's new in Photoshop, and this file's probably a little bit too big to work with. That's only 177 megabytes, not bad. Okay, what we're going to do is go into narrow filters, and if everything goes right, we're going to go into landscape mixer. And why do I have to download it? I've already had it.
Because on the beta ones, I think you have to download it each time you use it.
No, I'm not in beta this time, though.
No, it's showing under the beta ones.
Is it really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Okay. This particular image was shot in Jellystone National Park. In fact, I shot this in October of last year. And what you can do with this image is you can make it into a winter image just by clicking on the winter look up here, the snow. And if it goes quickly, there we go. It turns it into a snow scene.
Hmm.
And if you want to change it to spring, click on spring and process.
That is so crazy.
Whoa,
Is that like wicked cool or what?
that's
That is-
nuts.
It's amazing what it can do. I mean, the AI processing on this, artificial intelligence, that one's not so much in my mood, but
Is this
It's
in
a-
Lightroom too, or just Photoshop?
I believe it's just in Photoshop.
Just Photoshop. It isn't. Yeah, these are not in Lightroom.
These are just Photoshop, and they're under the filters and then down to Neural Filter, which is like 3 down.
And you can do this on your phone
Maybe.
if you have Photoshop? Okay.
The phone for me wouldn't be fast enough because my files are kind of large and I'm impatient. I want it now.
This is the coolest thing.
This is like wicked cool. Okay. And it's not going to play now. So they've got that one.
Michael, can you stack the different seasons and things on top of each other?
Well, what you could do, let's go to Neural Filter, filter, Neural Filter. I got to hide things because Zoom's in my way right now. And let's go to Landscape Mixer again. And we'll go to snow. In fact, what I should do, hang on, let me cancel out of that. Hit cancel, go away. Command J. I'm going to make a copy. Then we'll do the Neural Filter again. And Landscape Mixer, snow. Wait for it, wait for it. And now we have snow. So I'm going to click add to a new layer and then click OK. So now we have the snow. I'm going to try to change it now from snow to spring on this particular one. See if you can stack it. Otherwise, just make copies of the layers. Yeah, we'll go to spring. Spring has sprung. And there's other adjustment sliders in here as well. Okay, so you can redo it, and I put it on a new layer. So if you want to stack it, you can.
It didn't do as good on the waterfall when you took the winter and took it to spring. It made a little stair step, but
Yeah, it did, didn't it? But if you didn't know, it got kind of wonky there. So let's try this. We'll delete this layer, delete layer. Yes. Go back to here, go to Neural Filter. And the best thing to do is just play with it. I mean, it only takes a couple seconds for it to run. And, oh, I got to tell it what to do, don't I?
How do they decide, Michael, which of the betas they're going to put into their next update? Does it depend on our comments or what?
It probably depends on comments, and then also
They probably track usage of them too.
and which one is actually ready to go at this time. So give that a second, and then we'll, instead of new layer, we'll just do it current layer, see if you can stack it on top. So what it did, it undid what we did before. So you would have to make a copy for each additional layer, and the easiest way to do that is go to Filter, Neural Filters, go to Landscape Mixer, Snow, and down at the bottom, on the bottom right next to the cancel button, you can tell it current layer, new layer, And so what I would do is just set it to new layer each time. And you see from spring, they added some snow in there, but this is the original. And then that's the winter after doing spring. So it just depends. Just get in, play with it, have some fun, and there's nothing you can do. You can't hurt your computer by running it and doing it over and over again. So hit Command W, don't save. Any questions before I quit this one? Going once, going twice. Gone.
Oh, wait, is this out now or you said not yet?
This is current. This one is current right now. And so if I did the buffalo and did the same thing, let's go to filter, neural filter, and we'll snow on him. And sometimes this works really good where it looks like it snowed on him. Other times it looks like it turns him into a frozen. Well, that's not too bad. We'll drop down to 80%, see what it does. So you can adjust the slider up here.
Looks like
And-
you're gonna give it what, more winter?
And then you can add more winter into it. So let's drag that up to about 50%. And that's when it starts getting a little out of control. I'll go to 100% just to
Almost
make
looks like it over sharpens it too.
it over sharpens it, and it also makes it look like the movie Frozen, where everything's crystallized, and
Yeah.
that's at 100%. Let's preserve subject, see what happens. Oh,
I love it.
it preserved the
That's
subject.
actually cool.
So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do with this, and
Nice masking job, if nothing else.
No kidding.
I tell you what, their AI masking right now is just off the hook crazy. It is wicked cool. So that is the buffalo one. Now we'll go into something old because I did something new. So let's do old changing colors, color change. I've showed this one recently, but let's go ahead and do this. You want the Volkswagen or the Jeep?
Volkswagen.
You got it. And what I want to do is I want to change colors on the Volkswagen. If I just go in and change colors, let's go to Hue and Saturation, and then we will pick this red color or orangish color. And you can see in the color properties, this is the area that we're going to be changing colors. So if I change the hue, anything that is that red color will change, or the orange color. You can also change the saturation. But you'll notice the bricks behind that it did that as well. And we don't want that. And I don't want to have to mask it out. So let's delete that layer and make it so I can see. So Command minus to make it smaller. And I'm going to go into my select subject, and I'm going to do object selection tool. And it's going to tell me automatically, it's going to select the bug. And here we go. I said, here we go. You can also lasso around the bug and it'll select that.
Are you sure it's there?
There it is, finally.
Wow.
Aye. That was slow.
Yeah.
One of the things you'll notice when you're playing with Photoshop and Zoom at the same time, they don't like to play. So what I'm going to do, there's two ways to do this. One is just go straight into the hue and saturation mode, or I can bring this up on its own layer and have it just do this layer. So let's go ahead and just do hue and saturation mode, because we'll just do the selection. So we go to our adjustment layer, down to hue and saturation, click the color, And then saturate a little bit more so we got a nice bright yellow. And you'll notice that the building behind stayed the color that it was supposed to. So it didn't change the reds there, but it did change the turn indicators because they were an orangish color. So what
You
I'll do,
used the lasso tool, you said?
I did the quick selection tool or object selection tool, and I used it in lasso mode up at the top up here. You can use rectangle or lasso, or you can let it do the selection for you, either one. So it's the keyboard shortcut here is W, and it's the object selection tool that works. And so I want to fix that turn indicator. So I'm in the layer mask, hit B for brush, make my brush nice and small so it fits, not that small. And I'm going to paint with black so that the color comes back. And I probably could have done a little bit sharper brush, but I'm not gonna. Hit X to bring back the white, paint that one in the outside area, and we'll paint this one in black as well.
I can't seem to hear you.
Sorry, I stopped talking for a second because I had to cough and I muted myself. So any questions on this one? And what we could do, delete that. You could go into a new layer. So I'll hit Command J and then get my paintbrush. Let's say I wanted to paint it this light blue color that's in there. B for brush, change the mode to color. And it should allow me to paint with blue. But then I've got to make sure that I paint everything and go around the parts that I don't want, to where the other way is just so much easier to do. Winner chicken dinner. So I like that. That has actually been around for quite a while. I just never use it enough to play with it. Questions, comments? Going once, going twice. Don't save, gone. Let's see, some AI stuff. So we'll go into new. Let's do, no, we did that one already. Let's do this one. Okay, the tool we just used is the object selection tool. What it's going to do right now is go through and select everybody here. It figures out, okay, that's the object you're looking for. And once it stops spinning up in the upper left up here, and let me see if it's auto refresh, color, auto show, overlay, always show overlay. There we go. Now it's showing. It selected all these people, but it actually selected one at a time. So if I wanted to take out the guy on the right, I click on him and it selects just him.
Whoa.
If I want the one on the far left, I can click on the one on the far left and it selects just that person. If I want both of them, I can hold Shift or Command or Control and click on both. And then we can go up to edit, content aware fill. I'm not going to refine it too much. I'm just going to take it out really quick and deselect. And you see just really quickly, it obviously I needed to refine it, but it took them out really quick. Let's go backwards a couple steps. We'll do just me, take me out, deselect, click on me, and we'll go to edit, content aware fill, which is fairly new. It's in the last couple of things that we've done. And so we'll get rid of this right here because we don't want him being selected. And you can see it took me out almost. Command D to deselect. What I needed to do is expand the selection a little bit, which is easy to do. So let's go to select, modify, expand, and let's go with 5 pixels just to make it a little bit bigger, probably too big, but that's okay. And now we'll do the same thing, edit, content aware fill. Get rid of him. Click OK. Goodbye, Michael. Command D to deselect. And it left a little bit of ghosting right there, which is no problem. We'll just take this out really quick. Take that out really quick. And
Not
there you
bad.
have, Michael is gone.
Not
I
bad.
was never there, and you can't prove it. Any questions on that one? So the AI tools are working really cool. I'm really
They're
loving
getting
them.
better, that's for sure.
Well, they're getting so much better.
Wow.
I am. And each thing that they update, it just gets so much better and better. It's unbelievable. Okay, let's do this one. Cancel. I need to reset it. So to reset your camera raw back to normal, just right click on it, go down to develop settings, clear settings, and I'll go back in again. And I don't know if you can see, let me increase the exposure a little bit so you can see them better. This camera had some sensor spots or dust spots on the sensor.
Just a little.
It was when my camera was brand new. I shot a whole bunch of pictures of the sunset of a pier, turned around, saw this image behind me and said, oh my God, I got to shoot it. And when I shot it, all of a sudden sensor spots showed up. So the first couple of shots through the thing, nothing. This one, I can't even count how many sensor spots. The guy that cleaned it said this is the worst he has ever seen a sensor in his career.
Something
Okay.
to be proud of.
I have set the record. I set the bar high. So instead of trying to figure out where all these sensor spots are at, let's go ahead and make it bigger a little bit. There we go. I'm going to go over on the right side of camera raw. There's the spot removal brush. So I click on that, and on the bottom half of that, it says visualize spots. That's at about 70%. That's at 100%. But you can set it probably about 70% right there. And it comes up with the little circular brush. You click on it and it goes to the blank areas. And you just go on and click where your sensor spots are at. So if you're entering image competition, what you want to do is make sure you go through the camera raw filter and do exactly this. So I'll click on open, and there's still a bazillion. And sometimes when you use it, it will show up very faintly. Like I think this one I took out, but most of them are pretty much gone. So we'll go to the filter, camera raw filter, which is Control or Command Shift A, and we'll do the same thing. Go to the brush tool up there and just go in and start clicking on that one. Doesn't work, so I'll move it to a clear spot. And if it doesn't work properly, like if this selected where their spot is right there and put a spot in there, just drag the green one to a clear spot and go in and clean up where you got it. So if you're in a print comp and you got sensor spots, there's no excuse for it. So just that easy, you can take out sensor spots and other things as well. You can bring up the filter again one more time. If there was something along here where I wanted to take out multiple, so we'll zoom in, say right here. You can hit that spot there, visualize spots. Come on, there we go. And you can drag it over the area that you want to take out. So it's like a spot removal tool where you can do multiple stuff at one time. Or if you had a line or something in there you didn't want, you can take it out really easily and just hit OK, and everybody's happy. Hunky dory, happy? Questions, answers? Why is there error? Okay, let's go to another new one. One of my favorites, sky replacement tool. Back, let me reset this one as well. I'll show you a 2-in-1 or a 3-in-1 deal. Right click on the image and bridge, go down to develop settings, clear settings. Oops, somebody needs a little help with this horizon line. And I could say that was shot just to show you this, but I won't lie to you. What was that?
Oops.
Yeah, exactly. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit under edit at the very top. You've got all your settings for exposure, etc. I'm going to hit auto. And what that does, it goes in and looks at it and says, hey, we can do some work with this. So undo, and it's really dark, hit auto, and your shadows come up a little bit more, and everything is happy and hunky-dory. I'm going to optics, remove chromatic aberrations, and use lens profile. It will pick the lens that you use, which is a 28-70, my Nikon, and it will use the profile for that and fix the distortion that a wide angle lens will have. So we can fix that. Optics are good. Basic is good. Color mixer. If I wanted to make the sky a little bit bluer, I would click on next to the word where it says adjust. I'm going to adjust HSL, which is hue, saturation, luminance. Click on saturation, click on the bullseye right there, and I'm going to add a little bit of saturation in that blue area and also down in the lighter blue. And you can see it did the aquas right here. It added 9 points and it added 42 points of blue. So we got that. Luminance will darken it down. So that's still checked, the bullseye there. And I'm going to bring it down just a little bit just for fun. Although I'm not going to use the sky, I'm just playing with it to show you what you can do in Camera Raw. And then next I'm going to go to geometry. There is no fixing whatsoever, which is the none right there. Right next to it, apply balance perspective corrections. Well, basically that means level it out automatically. And it just leveled it for me. With buildings, you can go in and select some of these others and do the sides of the building so that they're nice and straight, and perpendicular, et cetera, but we won't do that because we don't have any buildings here. I'm going to hit OK, and I'm going to crop this down really quick. So I'm going to hit clear and crop at the top up here to the bottom so everything's in there. If you want to include more, you can, and then just add the content aware button. So let's say I'm going to add more to the left. You can see I've got this big space to the left there. And so when I hit content aware and then click on the check mark or hit enter, it's going to say we're going to fix it. It's going to fix it, right? It did not. Okay.
You have to do it when you add the crop, I think.
Okay, it's already set. So let's crop. I'm just going to crop the whole thing like that with content aware. It's not doing it. Fine, be that way. Let's do 11 by 14 crop. See if that makes a difference. Content aware on. Click OK. And it's not doing it. Okay, I'm not worried about it. I will take my magic wand tool, which is in the W category. Select the blank up there, select the blank at the bottom, hit F3, which is my action to do a content aware fill really fast. I know that's going to work. There we go. So, okay, we're doing like 10 things in one on this one. And does anybody see what my camera does all the time?
Goobers.
Lasso, F3, boom, gone, 0. Okay. Well, this sky is boring. So I'm going to go to edit, sky replacement. This is about a year old now. And that's like way too bright of a sky. That one doesn't quite match it right. Photoshop gives you about 10 or 12. You can add more Photoshop skies in, but I like my own skies. There we go. I like that one. It looks like a storm on the horizon. And we can do brightness, add it just a little bit. Click OK. And what it will do, it'll take the sky that it perceives as a sky, and you can see it's a little bit too crisp and sharp along the edge there. In fact, let's fix that right there. I don't like it, so F3. And it puts it into a group, so you can adjust anything you want in that group. You can adjust the edge lighting. You can adjust the horizon line here, foreground color. You can adjust that as well after you put it in, or while you're putting it in, you can do that as well. So all kinds of stuff you can play with there. So what you do is you go out and you shoot skies, clouds, sunsets. If I wanted to change that, get rid of that group, and let's do edit, sky replacement. And I have mine set up with stormy skies, blue skies, sunsets, and mics. All these are images that I've shot, so I can use them in print competition if I want to without showing them. Photoshop has them, but you would have to put them at the bottom of your your thing. So, oh, that's not what I want. And we can adjust the brightness. So drop it down a little bit, make it brighter. Adjust the temperature, make it cooler. Foreground lighting, we can adjust that as well. So it kind of fills it in like it should. So it's not too bright on the foreground. Color adjustment. You can play with it and make it work however you want it. Click OK. And now we need to add a little bit of color to the bottom down here. So what I'll do is go down to color lookup table, which has been around for a while. So it's in adjustment layers, color lookup, or LUTs. And we need to do a late sunset. And then in the mask over there, I'm going to add a gradient. So G for gradient, and bring the opacity down just a little bit. See, a little bit of the color shines out, but you can match the colors so that this looks more like it should to match a sunset or a sunrise. So before and after. Any questions on sky replacement? Sometimes Ira sent me a picture of an airplane. It'd have a trail behind it, and it put the sky over the trail of the plane, and you want to keep it. So what you would do is mask out what you want to keep, either in the layer mask in the sky, or figure out a way to get it to come up on top and make sure it blends in really well. So questions? Going once, going twice. And one of the old things, layer blending modes, I'll show real quick. Let's do, no, blending modes, that's the one. I shot this in Washington, D.C., January. And I was happy. I got the moon in the picture. I got the monument in the picture, but the moon just looks so dang tiny. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lasso the moon. They should write a song like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and do edit, fill, content aware at 100%. Goodbye. The moon is gone. So deselect, go back to bridge, and I got a moon that I have here. I'm going to right click, place in Photoshop. Click OK, and it will place it in the image. And let's go ahead and go to temperature, raise the temperature up just a little bit, bring our exposure up just a little bit. That's about all we have to do. Click OK. Click OK. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. And there you have your moon inside the picture. Is that realistic looking or what? That is like cool. The fastest way to make it look realistic is go from normal mode to either lighten or screen. That one seems to work the best, screen mode. Command T to transform it, make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to raise it up out of the clouds so it'd be easier. And OK. And I'm going to drop the opacity down to say 80%. So it doesn't stand out like too much. That's how fast you can add a mood in there using the layer modes. If I changed it to multiply, that's what it would look like. Screen, overlay, or soft light. Difference, extraction. And just go through and see which one works. And there's only one that works, which would be screen mode works the best on this one. So just play with it and enjoy. Any questions on that? Going once, going twice. Okay, so I'll close that. Stop sharing, go back to the faces so I can see the smiling faces that we have. Leo, good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. You're muted.
There, your luck's run out. Sorry about that.
Happy to see you. Does anybody have any questions? Going once, going twice? Okay, I'm going to stop the recording.